around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock it. Let's get it started. Yeah,
get your boots ready. We're about to go on a trip where we wrestle, nobody settling or calling it quits. You're here for the grit, bet you this stuff is amazing. You're stumbling, welcome to the bump in the apron. Step into it, the hardest part of the ring. Here to bring fun, yeah, in this art he is king. It's the best thing, making sure you don't tap out. Don't go soft with the hardest podcast out. And it's not just another one, it's clear. Off the rest, in this content, none contest. Take the nonsense off the steps. You know it's nothing but pure gems when it's coming off the chest. Get it? Now it's time to sit and relax. Get your mind blown away, ain't no skipping this track. Have you paying more attention, no listening gap. Get everything I ever wanted, no giving it back. Yeah, back.
Ooh, what's up, everybody? Hardest part of the ring is here for a very, very special episode. Why, do you ask? Well, take a look at the episode number, huh? What episode is it? Maybe we should call this episode Mutual Oral Sex or something, huh? Yeah. 69 is a sex position. Anyways, we're here. Not only is this a big show because of it, it's the the milestone episode of 69, but it's also the first review of 1995. That's right, folks. The Wrestling Wars of the 90s series has finally reached 95, the very critically acclaimed year of 1995 for wrestling. You got a lot of experimenting. You got a lot of you got Hogan running wild in WCW. You got Taz with hair in ECW. You got Mantaur in WWF. Lots of good stuff. Lots of stout men in singlets in 1995, but makes for good podcast fodder, I guess, right? So I'm excited. As you all, if you've listened to me for a while, you know I have not seen this era in wrestling, other than a few matches here and there. So I'm excited to get into 1995. And what better way than with the Royal Rumble 95 occurring on January 22nd in Tampa, Florida. This was it was a fun show to watch. I wouldn't call it good per se, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it just because, I say it all the time. It's just fun to watch it from in a historical perspective, just to see where people were, just to see how wrestling was stylistically back then. Lots of things that would seem cliche nowadays, but back then were fresh as a daisy. So, we got, in this show, Royal Rumble 95, we got a really, really great, actually, WWF title match between Bret Hart and Diesel. We got some Undertaker shenanigans with his hilariously big urn. We have Jeff Jarrett is a thing here for some reason. I was hoping we didn't have to suffer through Jeff Jarrett more than we already do with my TNA series, but apparently he's going to be a prominent thing here for I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. But but more importantly than all of that, we have the initial spark in this show, not Spark Plug Holly. We have the initial spark for the WrestleMania 11 main event. And no, I'm not talking about the winner of the Royal Rumble going on to face the world champion. Nope. No, that doesn't main event WrestleMania. What main event's WrestleMania? Hardest part of the ring. I'll tell you. Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, the football player. Man, I've always heard mixed reviews of that match, so I'm excited to get to that a little bit down the road. But yes, in this show, which, you know, going back and listening to this episode, I don't even think we really touched on specifically what happened here. But basically, after the tag match that Bam Bam Bigelow is in, he makes a fool of himself. I'll say this just to, you know, avoid spoilers. Bam Bam makes a fool of himself. Everybody's laughing at him. The crowd's laughing at him. The wrestlers are laughing at him. Who else is laughing at him? Well, a big lad sitting ringside in Lawrence Taylor, pointing and laughing at Bam Bam. Bam Bam is none too pleased with this. I'd say even, you know, pardon my French, he's a little ticked off. So Bam Bam shoves Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence fights back, shoves him back. There's a whole schmoz and a pull apart. And that is your WrestleMania main event. Oh, fun stuff. Fun stuff. But we get into this in the episode as far as why that was probably the main event this year and just all the crazy shit that was going on at this time. But like I said, milestone episode, you know, sex position episode number, right? We're all having fun here. First review of 1995. So I have to make this a super show for you guys. So I brought three count them, three decent podcasts, no, three great podcasts to join me on this episode. And you know, no particular order. I guess, you know, order of penis size from smallest to largest. So we have, you know, myself. We have Kenny from A Kenny for Your Thoughts podcast. We have Matt Ritter from the Smackin It Raw podcast. And we have Joey Carney from The Angle podcast. All former guests of the Apron Bump. Some of my favorite guests that I've had on here. So that's why I have brought all these lovely, lovely lads together for a really good old time reviewing Royal Rumble 1995. And we're running under a slightly different format in this one. So it starts off like a normal episode, right? A traditional review that you would listen to on the Apron Bump. But when we get to the Royal Rumble match itself, the final match of the show, that will be a watch along. So we'll review the first couple matches as per usual, normal style. Well, once we get to the Royal Rumble, if you would like to pull up Peacock, and the timestamp to start is 1:57:39. And I'll put all of this in the description of the podcast and on the YouTube version, the video version, by the way, in case you guys aren't aware. I do have video versions of these episodes now. But on YouTube, I'll have a ticker of some sort so you can keep up with it as well. And I'll have timestamps in the description of the podcast as well. I think I already said that, but just to reiterate. So yes, the Rumble match itself is going to be a watch along. But I listened back to it, and you can easily enjoy it without even watching it. Very little dead air as we're watching. You know, it's four guys, so there's always going to be talking. So you can enjoy it without watching the Rumble. But I would suggest that you pull it up somewhere on the cock. Pull your cocks out, everybody. The sex jokes are running wild. But yes, that's the dealio here. So let's get to it. Royal Rumble 1995 with four dudes with attitudes. That's okay. That's not our name. We don't actually have a name. We're just podcasts. We're not douches.
We know you're a douche. I am too.
Yeah, right.
Come on now.
That's why we're all together. It's just a big douche fest.
Right.
That's what the episode's called.
Well, I let Joey and Ritter slide there. I said I called us douches.
No, we all clean vaginas. But anyways, finally, we're all here. Thank you guys once again.
Can you hold that thought? There, my food arrived, and I'm just gonna put
You
it in the house.
cocksucker! I just want to talk about Razor Ramon. God damn it!
What timing on that too?
It's like he waits for me to rev up, and then he just puts the air out of my tires.
Speaking of Mantar's sweaty armpits, if I did take my shirt off, you guys would get first-hand view of what Mantar would look like without the clothes on.
Oh yeah.
You know, I didn't even like associate Ritter with Mantar, but now that he said that, like Mantar does have that like the beard with the bald head.
Now that's all you'll be able to see, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like now it's like if he wasn't ruined already, especially with his little waddle to the ring, like the way he's like.
That's how I waddle
Wait,
in.
what does
Oh
he
my
do?
god!
What does Mantar do again?
I based my whole sexual prowess off Mantar.
Right.
In and out, right?
Can you please save that for the watch along? Because I just want you to say every bit of that.
Oh, this is all being recorded. Don't you worry. This is all my property now.
I'll repeat it.
Is Mantar's on this show, right?
Oh, it's his debut.
Oh man. Well,
Oh, we'll talk. Oh, we'll talk. I got stuff to say about that one.
man, let's get the bulls, unleash the bulls here for is that a phrase? I don't know. For Royal Rumble. Let the pigeons loose. Rumble 95. Once again, thank you guys. Kenny, you don't have any haircuts appointments coming
No
in mid-show again?
I got a couple girls arriving in a couple hours. I paid for that in advance.
Oh, okay. So that's why you masturbated before, is to kind of prep for that.
Right, you got to keep that stamina up, brother.
Yeah, you got to throw it in the bullpen a little bit beforehand. I'm with you.
Right. They call me the Mariano Rivera of
Baseball.
what was that? Twinkling
Was that you?
sound.
Wind chime?
I don't.
It's probably
it
my
sounded like
door.
a wind chime.
No.
I was like,
No, I have that ring door, so every time someone walks in front of it, it makes a.
Are you about
did
to
I
get
send
out?
them to the wait? Did I send them to the wrong house? What's happening here?
I mean, they might have if they came all the way up.
Everybody's gonna have
North.
a delivery of some sort during the episode.
You know who would definitely set off a Ring doorbell is Razor Ramon.
Oh, that is such
Hey.
a good point, Matthew. But speaking of which, Razor Ramon was on this show. Did you know? I don't know if you guys do. That's fun.
Wait, what show are we talking about?
Shut the fuck up, Joey. So Royal Rumble, 1995. So first of all, open up. How have you guys? I know Kenny, you've seen it, but have the rest of you guys seen it
Yeah.
before?
Yes.
I mean,
Yep.
before this episode, have you seen it?
Yes.
Pieces of it before.
Pieces of
It's
it.
ingrained into my mind. It's like traumatic,
Is it? So you
especially
said
the opening.
you said this was one of your favorite Rumbles, right?
I don't know why. But I think it's because Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler. I think that's why,
Yeah.
like, I hold it near and dear to my heart, Break Kid. But yeah, and then like I don't know, serendipitous, I guess, that I ended up living in Tampa.
Right.
So this is from Tampa, Florida. And then even weirder now is that it's from the USF Sundome, which if nobody knows, that's where WWE's Thunderdome is right now.
Oh, really?
That is the Yingling Center. Yeah, that is the current Yingling Center. So, yeah, weird how that all worked out.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's because I noticed that when the show opened, it was from Tampa. I was like, oh, that's probably why it's Kenny's favorite show. But
No, I lived in New York, so I didn't live in Tampa until way after this Rumble. So,
So you
it
weren't
just
there.
all worked itself out.
so you weren't there with LT laughing at Bam Bam Bigelow?
No,
later
I
in the
wasn't there
show?
with LT at all. I was at home laughing at Bam Bam Bigelow's bloodied lip.
That's good. That's good. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, so this is the first pay-per-view of 1995, and I've always heard that 1995 is like the worst year of WWF. I know you guys kind of watching bits and pieces. I know, Kenny, you're probably watching most of it. Would you agree with that? That 95 is pretty bad?
I don't, because I think 93 and 94 are in contention there.
Yeah.
93, 94, maybe 94. No, because then Bret Hart saves 94, I would say. So 93, I think I'd put it at like number one. 95, I liked 95. There were some good things, but there was a lot of start and stop. I get why people say 95 was bad, because there's a lot of guys that should have been pushed or started to get pushed and then either left and WCW came into play and things like that. So I see why people say 95 is bad. Mantaur.
Yeah, for my podcast, I usually watch all the Raws and stuff before the pay-per-views, but I've pretty much given up on that in this time period because it is rough ski. Because before, at least, you had Macho Man, and that was entertaining because he was on commentary, so he was like fun enough to watch it. But now he's not there anymore because Macho Man had just left the company maybe a month or two before this.
Right.
So I think that's a big part of it too. It is like a big transition period for the company. Still trying to figure out how to fill the hole that Hogan left when he left. I'm waiting for. I paused there for a joke, but
My eyebrow went up.
there it is. That's all we need. And we're still like a year and a half away from Stone Cold, something like that. So it's definitely like he's got Diesel and stuff like that getting built up at this point. Definitely still a transition period, but as far as the pay-per-view itself as a whole, I enjoyed. I mean, we haven't watched the Rumble yet, but up until that, I kind of enjoyed the show. What about you guys, just overall?
For the most part, I mean, it's 1995, and a lot of the shit's cheesy. Looking back on it,
Right.
To speak to Kenny's point, everyone says, well, 93 or 95, but this is what wrestling does. I mean, you can make arguments for the 2000s, maybe the worst year too. Like, you go up and you go down. People say now we're in one of those down dips. I personally think the worst year in wrestling is probably 2034, but that's just me.
Oh, that's bold.
Bold statement to make.
Who's on top in 34?
John Cena the third.
Okay. Man, he gets to work, huh?
Rena Reigns.
He was adopted. He's adopted. John Cena third.
Oh. That's
Is
a
he
built-in
feuding with
storyline
the
right
Bella
there.
Boys?
They're actually a faction. They're actually in a faction.
Oh, really?
Yes. They're called.
That feud's still going on.
Yeah.
What are they called?
I had nothing. I'm really glad Joey interrupted
That's
me.
clear.
I completely blanked.
He's shooting blanks today.
Yes, I am.
Shooting blanks.
You know what's really crazy about this period too, though? It's the character development because, like you said, we had everybody leaving really, and it was before that real, I guess, Stone Cold, The Rock make a statement. So it's that weird transition of the start of building characters, where things are starting to evolve, but not to where we knew they went. So it was just that weird transition period. So it wasn't necessarily a bad year of wrestling. It was just a transition year. And we have a lot of those too. If you look at like the WrestleManias today, a lot of people like to use those as a reference. Some WrestleManias will be like a transition period where the stories and the matches are not like those classic things we want to see, like a Shawn Michaels Undertaker match. But you also get different matches like what we got this year, where this year was kind of a transition period, where to next year we'll probably have elevated classic matches that we're used to seeing. So it's a give and take, but it really was like a transition evolution type thing.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, let's not lose sight of the fact that I don't want to gloss over the fact that Bret Hart had kind of stepped up in this time from the year before to be that guy to take the perch. Luger had failed miserably, whether that be his fault or whether that be the company, just to kind of tie us where we are in 95. So Bret's been on top. Luger failed. He would actually leave, I think, about 8 months after this. But, he looked like he was going to be the next guy. So we really thought, there was a chance for him to win the Rumble. Bret Hart's on top. Diesel all of a sudden went from being Shawn Michaels' bodyguard to being the guy, beating Bob Backlund. So Bob Backlund beats Bret Hart for the title, and then Diesel beats him in literally 8 seconds to win the title. So that's the period we're in now. And then now Shawn Michaels is kind of on the ascension too. So we're in this, like Joey was saying, we get these transition periods, and we're really there to where we don't know who the next guy to step up is. We really don't know who's winning this Rumble at this time, because it's like, you could say Luger, maybe they'll try again. You can say all these other guys, Shawn Michaels, maybe, Bulldog. There's like just a bunch of guys that you're like, okay, they can take the next step with this Rumble.
Right. Yeah, and to what you guys were saying, this being a transition era, that's kind of represented in Rumble in WrestleMania after this Rumble, because it's main evented by a celebrity match. So it's almost like they didn't even have faith in any of the people that they have built up to main event the show. So it's like, okay, we're going to have you guys lower on the card, which I believe is HBK Diesel, right? For the title and other stuff. And then next year we'll have, what was it? Shawn and Bret,
Shawn
right?
and Bret.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. I mean, those were your two pillars after that.
Exactly. So that's a really good point, and that this is kind of a transition year.
Are you telling me that the winner of the Royal Rumble did not main event WrestleMania?
No.
HBK Diesel main event, whatever the hashtag was. But
yeah, maybe if there was 2 nights, Then they would have main evented.
They would have had 3 matches on each show. You would have had more spark plug.
3 matches, an hour long each. Like,
and then, but yes, Intercontinental Championship match opens the show. Razor Ramon, the champion, versus Double J. Was he Double J or Jeff Jarrett? Or was he both?
He's Double J. Double J is definitely the country music character.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he debuted. I don't think he debuted on this show, but I know he's recently debuted as the Roadie with Double J, which is fun to see. And this is kind of a good representation of that transition because you have Razor Ramon, obviously. He would go on to be huge in WCW. You have Jeff Jarrett, who's back and forth. And then you have the Roadie, who's going to be one of the biggest stars of the Attitude Era. He like pulls WWF out of the hole. He's one of those main guys.
For anybody who doesn't know, he went on to become the Road Dogg. So Roadie is Road Dogg, Jesse James. So.
Yes, correct.
And Jeff Jarrett would go on to become WCW champion and leader of the NWO and start his own
TNA
company.
champion.
Just, probably the most successful
Jeff
guy
Jarrett
in this
would go
whole
on to be
pay-per-view.
irrelevant. Yeah.
He's
I hate
fucking
Jeff
awful
Jarrett.
here, though, dude. He's fucking so bad here.
It was
Ain't he
funny.
great?
The next thing I'm reviewing is TNA, which he's on top. So it's funny how those things kind of intersect over time.
King of the Mountain.
Jeff Jarrett.
King of the Mountain, my world, all that shit. But so I made a note. So I full transparency, I watched this show like whatever it was 3 weeks ago, whenever we originally were gonna do this. And I made a note here. It just said Opry joke, and I was like, what the fuck? I made a note of it.
Oh, I think they said he was. Oh my God.
I got it.
It was
if
about
you
the
don't
Grand
remember.
Ole Opry, so he was like the Phantom of the Grand Ole Opry or something. Like
Yes.
Jerry the King Lawler makes some weird joke here.
Lawler was like,
What else is new?
Jeff Jarrett has some big plans. He's not only a big star in Nashville, but he's going to be performing on Broadway. He's going to be in the Phantom of the Grand Ole Opry. We just pause for laughter for all the listeners.
See, I thought you didn't remember the joke. That's why I said
No,
it. Because I thought you were like, I wrote this and I don't know why.
I'll tell you, I did. So I literally just like a few minutes ago went back, and it's just like right at the beginning of the match. So I was like, I got to see why I made note of this because it clearly just tickled my cockles when I first heard it. But I listened to it back. I was like, what the fuck? Why did I even bother? Oh, I don't know. But anyways, Vince McMahon fucking loved it. Grand Ole Opry. But anyways,
Start a Burger King chant here. Kept saying that all night.
speaking of which, we should have had a drinking game for this. Drink every time Vince says machismo in this match. Jesus fucking Christ. We get it. Razor Ramon oozes machismo. It's fun. We got it, Vince. Enough. But I digress. But the match itself, I actually, like watching these like 95, 94 era kind of shows, it's always fun to like watch as like a historical, like from that perspective. Like it's very like Matt said, it's cheesy and all that stuff, but it's like kind of fun to watch and see what it was back then. So I kind of enjoyed it as a whole. Towards the middle, Razor Ramon gets chop blocked on the outside by Double J, injuring his leg, and Razor Ramon gets counted out. And so the match is over at that point. But obviously, Double J can't win the title by count out. So what does he do? He calls him a chicken. He calls Razor Ramon a chicken. That's fighting words.
Nope. I want to talk about this moment, actually, because this is something I noticed in 95 or so. I didn't know if this was something that happened in society or if this was just in wrestling. But every 5 seconds, somebody is calling somebody a yellow belly or saying he's got a yellow streak down his back. That's what triggered Razor, not the chicken part. He goes, you might as well paint he's like, I know you got yellow on you, but you might as well paint a yellow streak down your back. And then Razor's like, well, I'll be that son of a bitch. And like runs back towards the ring.
Yeah.
What's up with the yellow streak? Is it really that like, it said so much in mid 90s WWF.
I have like a dozen Asian jokes in my head, but I'm just going to keep them in there.
See, all mine were golden shower jokes, so,
There we go. We're all equally garbage. That's good to know.
All right, Asians and piss. I mean, that's where everyone's mind goes.
Yep.
Got our WWE bags on our backs.
Yellow WWE bags.
There it is. Hefty. But yes, as Kenny said, Razor is none too pleased with this. He is not yellow. He is orange, clearly. So he sprints back in the ring. Well, didn't sprint because his leg's injured. But he hobbles back to the ring, and they start fighting again. They ring the bell. Match is restarted. Double J's working the leg most of the match, figure fours and all that. We see a lot of that in this show. And there was one aspect of this match that I like. I think it represents why I like watching this era. They do the figure four spot, right? And we all have seen, they tease the leverage. If you flip over, you reverse the pressure. But it's just like, it shows how like sometimes something so simple can be so good because the crowd was into it. Like they were like doing it so like they were teasing it for like forever. It felt like, but it felt like it was building up tension really well. When Razor was trying to reverse the figure four. But Razor Ramon, his leg, the damage is done. So he tries to hit the Razor's edge, but he can't. He drops Jeff Jarrett, or Jeff Jarrett gets out of it, and he rolls him up. And Jeff Jarrett wins the match by roll up. New Intercontinental Champion. And yeah, I didn't see that. Like I hadn't seen the show before. I didn't know who won this.
No.
Didn't see it coming at all because Jeff Jarrett had been kind of like a background guy so far, and what I've seen so far. So it seemed like they were putting the rocket on him.
They gave him the roadie. Of course, they were putting the rocket on him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, Jarrett came out of nowhere, and I'm talking about like vivid memories of watching this live. And yeah, it was just like, for historical context, like Razor was the guy. Like Razor looked like he was going to be WWF champion within a year, Yeah. So for them to have Jeff Jarrett win the title off of Razor was a big deal. Big deal at the time. And, I mean, we thought, at the time, maybe that meant something bigger for Razor, which maybe they did have that planned, but, obviously Scott Hall behind the scenes wasn't the best. So who knows? I mean, who knows? But it was definitely obvious that Razor had something going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this thing backstage that they have that I've actually learned from talking to someone who went through it. If they offer you a new contract, or if there's something going on with your contract, it's expiring or whatever's coming up, they'll say, okay, here's your new contract. And if you don't sign it in the amount of time that they want you to, they'll start taking things away from you. So that could also be part of what happened there. His contract dispute, going to WCW or whatever's going on. A lot of stuff happening backstage that wasn't being shown or talked about leading up to everything that happened. So it could be the start of that, which kind of, turned out to be happening in the ring, where they start taking things away from him, start killing his push or whatever. You would think, watching wrestling for so long, we all have, oh, they're taking the title off that guy. Oh, he's being pushed somewhere else. He's going to be elevated somewhere else. It's not always the case, So I definitely think it's something along the lines with his contract.
It's Ritter's name, so let's call attention to Jeff Jarrett's ring gear, because I actually had this thought. Funny you mentioned that. I had this thought maybe like a year ago. I had an epiphany.
Wait,
so
I wonder if we have the same one. We might be on the same page here.
Okay, and not if it is.
Does it have to do with him?
Guitar?
Yes.
Okay, I realized it was like freaking guitar strings. Like it was supposed to be a fret. That's what you okay.
Yes.
I was literally like, I was too focused on his hard nipples to understand that it was supposed to be a fret. And it hit me like a year ago, and I was like, oh my God.
It literally just hit me as we were talking
genius
about this match. I was thinking, because it always bothers me, I'm like, his ring gear looks fucking terrible. I'm like, holy shit, it's a fucking guitar. Like, it's the fret from the guitar. Like, it's just,
That makes me hate Jeff Jarrett even more. I didn't think it was possible.
You didn't know that?
No,
I didn't know that.
I knew things late. He should have been like, you're a ding or whatever. However you play guitar. Is that how you play?
But again, it was just so spaced out. Like, I think that's why it took us literally what, freaking 20 years to realize it.
He should have pulled a Mantaur and have like a little like thing of the guitar on his head. That's what.
And no one ever referenced it. No one ever said anything about it. Like, you would think commentary would like mention something.
They probably.
I think it was too smart.
Get it over. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know. Vince was like, "What the hell is that?"
Jerry Lawler's in here in his book of one-liners. He's not paying attention to the match.
Yeah.
Man, that is. Talk about tuning up the band, huh? That could have been Jarrett's thing. He's in the corner. He's doing
Kyle.
Sweet chest music.
Yes, there it is. Somebody could take it. If anybody's listening to this, I don't think that's copyrighted yet.
No, it is now. Hold on, where's my phone?
But yeah, man, saw anything else on that first match? I thought it was pretty solid.
No.
It was a good match between I literally was like, okay, these are our next two guys, and to Joey's point, you talk about taking stuff away. It's the infamous line that Eric Bischoff said to Jericho, which is no ticky, no laundry, which is if you don't re-sign a contract, obviously it's racist, but if you don't sign a contract, we'll take stuff away from you. But I didn't get that sense from Razor because remember, they didn't really start de-elevating him until like May. And in fact, if you think about it, it was a knee injury and a quick roll-up. So they were still keeping him warm.
Yeah.
It's not like he got, I don't want to say buried, but it's not like he lost in a, big
Clean.
fashion. Yeah.
Yeah. And Rhodey was involved too, I believe, if I remember correctly,
yeah.
with distracting him and stuff. What did Razor go up? Because I'm not really familiar with 95 and what Razor did. What did he ever like elevate to the main event during that year?
He fought Shawn Michaels again.
Did he? No.
Ladder match.
Oh, that's right. They did have it. That's right. I did. What'd you know about
Ladder
that?
match part 2.
Kenny, that was pretty good.
But again, remember, this is when Razor was having some problems too. You know what I mean? So, I don't think, for all we know, there's a lot of backstage stuff going on. Because, I don't think he had like a really memorable 95. He was really feuding with Jeff Jarrett. And then, he did. I remember him doing the ladder match again at SummerSlam 95, part 2,
Right.
both of them baby faces, which was great. I have that match memorized. Have you done that episode? I called dibs.
No. I don't think I've even seen it before. So that'll be a little treat. You call dibs.
So another 5 years when we get around to it, Kenny will be on that show.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But so we won't go into every segment in the show, but I have to acknowledge Todd Pettengill just trying to fuck Pam Anderson throughout the entire show.
It's like me and Ritter on this like this episode, like I'm just trying my damnedest to get his attention.
Right.
So
and he's
it's
undressing.
pretty bad.
He's undressing behind the little partition thing and has his panties over
Did you get my gift? Yeah, it was supposed to be a dozen roses, and she's like, it's like this little tiny rose.
That's all
you
Todd
can't do
needed.
this nowadays because the whole just to run the gamut of these, since you're not going to touch on all of them. Literally, it's all the male talent fawning over Pamela Anderson throughout the whole show, like every little segment.
Yep.
And it's so awkward looking back on it because it was like it was supposed to, mind you, it was supposed to be awkward and cheesy, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the intent. I don't want anyone to think like, oh, they thought this was good television. No, but it was so weird. It was just so weird. Like they would never do something like that nowadays.
No. And while we're talking about it, this is later in the show, but one of my favorite parts of the show was Jerry Lawler. He had the, I forget what it's called, but it was like, in the football when they draw the arrows and stuff.
Seismograph? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, something like that. But they revisit Pam Anderson arriving. She comes in the limo or the car or whatever. She gets out of the car. So it's like a freeze frame, right, of Pam Anderson. Jerry Lawler takes, whatever the marker or whatever he draws. He's trying to draw arrows or whatever, but he's having problems with it. And he draws his face on it, kissing Pam Anderson. So he's saying that he's going to fuck Pam Anderson later after Todd Pettengill gets done with her.
Oh, and Vince McMahon, because he's so witty, when Jerry Lawler's like, we're going, we don't want to tell you where we're going in Tampa because the miscreants will descend on it, the Tampa idiots or whatever. And then Vince is in his infinite wittiness, we all know the restaurant you're going to. Where? Burger King.
That's good shit. That's actually great comedy.
To just imagine that the
like
NFL
Burger King was
decided to use
sponsored.
this. Oh, go ahead, Kent. What was that, Joey?
No, I was just making a stupid joke off of what Kenny said.
Let's hear it.
That Burger King was being sponsored somewhat or something. I don't know what it was. They said it so many times.
It could have been.
What Kenny said, like, for what?
Burger King's got to get their royalties. I can't imagine how the NFL wasted this technology to draw plays and highlight like what happened after, when clearly this is how it should be used. Like WWE was doing this in 95, showing you what you should be doing with this. Like instead of showing the line of scrimmage and drawing your X's and O's and routes and shit, like why not just draw a giant dick on the TV?
That's almost what happened, which is God. But
Jerry the King Lawler slanging that thing. Jerry the Slang King Lawler.
I never really
that happened.
had the impression that Jerry Lawler has a big penis. I feel like it's pretty small.
Oh, it's huge. I've seen it.
Oh yeah, prove it. Share that screen.
Kenny's got it pulled up, ready to go.
Let's just say I was younger. Never mind. Just never.
I said
mind.
Peacock Kenny, not the whatever. But
Not King's cock.
speaking of cocks, we got two cocks right here. We have the Battle of the Ties. IRS versus Undertaker.
Why did this match get so much fucking time?
That
Because it is
great
Bray Wyatt's
question.
father versus the Undertaker. God damn it! I will watch this every day of the week and 5 times on Sunday. This is amazing.
It wasn't a bad. It wasn't a bad match. I mean, obviously, Mike Rotunda is like an amazing worker. You know what I mean? So I get it, but like
You mean
they
Irwin?
weren't. Sorry, IRS, Irwin R. Shyster. But it's just like, did this need to go as long as it did, especially with the shenanigans after the fact? It's like we could have just had this like killed, and that would have been it. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's like you said, is the shenanigans after the match. That's really like the takeaway here. But really, I mean, like you said, it's longer than it should have been. When really what it amounted to was, I'll put it this way. This is how it started. So it starts off with IRS drop kicking the Undertaker, and the Undertaker being completely unfazed, and then IRS running away. And he runs away from Undertaker for like, what, 15 minutes or something? That's pretty much what it is.
Right.
And by the way, I should mention this match, why it's occurring, is so Undertaker was put in a casket by Yokozuna at, I think it was last year's Royal Rumble. And Undertaker took some time off. He came back at SummerSlam, and then he faced Yokozuna at Survivor Series in a casket match once again, which Undertaker won. But he won in spite of a bunch of heels trying to interrupt and interfere, try to...
He buried the whole heel roster. Literally every
did.
heel that they had in 94 came out. Chuck Norris punt kicks Jeff Jarrett, which is why we thought karate kicks him. That's
Yeah.
why we thought Jeff Jarrett was a jobber. Like, holy crap.
Yes. And it's like you have all these heels to use, and you pick Irwin R. Shyster to be that guy, because in that match, because everyone's pretty much in a group, they're all whatever attacking Chuck Norris and whatever the fuck. But IRS is the one that gets the spotlight by choking out the Undertaker with a sleeper hold, putting him to sleep, and almost gives him, the loss there. But Taker, rises up or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. You know how it goes. But that's essentially why we're having this match. And then you have the whole aspect of Ted DiBiase and the $1 Million Corporation. DiBiase is the one that brought him in, so I guess there's a tie in there too. But
Which I never realized at the time, by the way. Like, for some reason, it didn't click that, like, oh, it's DiBiase that brought him in.
yeah,
So that was the tie-in to the $1 Million Corporation.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
Right.
why I wasn't so invested in the feud. But then, like, every 5 seconds, you want to talk about Burger King ad nauseum, they keep literally saying, where are the Druids? Where are the Druids? The Druids, the Druids, the Druids. And I'm like, oh my God.
yep. And then the Druids come out after.
But
do you
that's,
see?
yeah, it's so anticlimactic because they literally mentioned it the entire match. It's like saying,
Yeah.
I don't know, like you literally ruined the big spot.
That's, yeah, there's no subtlety, and it's just, oh, okay, here's the Druids. But Ted brings them out midway through the match, I guess. They interrupt. Taker's going for old school. They interrupt that.
What was it, old school?
I think it was just school at that
It
time.
was a
actually.
school
Yeah.
at the time, yeah.
Yeah, it was preschool.
Definitely a 95 learning education, building of education. Sorry, my brain didn't work right there.
Does it ever? But so the Druids get involved. They Taker goes for a tombstone. They rip off IRS. Taker boots all the Druids out of the way. One thing I did like about this match, though, is that the managers felt like they had a purpose. Because, like I said, DiBiase's there. He's helping IRS. He holds Taker against the ropes for IRS to hit him. He brings out the Druids to help, and then you have on the other side you have Paul Bearer holding the urn, and that's really the whole the premise of this match is that the urn gives Undertaker his powers.
Yeah.
Exactly, and so that's what Paul Bearer is there. He like holds it up, and Undertaker rises up if he's knocked down and all that stuff. So that's a neat little thread throughout the match. Even though it was kind of a plotting match, but the backstory's there. But ultimately, Undertaker just hits a choke slam on IRS for the win out of nowhere. So
Great match. Wonderful.
thank you. And then after the Druids kind of just awkwardly attack the Undertaker, King Kong Bundy comes out for some reason, beats down
The
Undertaker.
walking condominium.
The walking egg. And
Like
Beat the power
Mantaur
out of
and
him.
Ritter combined and had a gargantuan baby.
is that who Mantaur is? Is he just King Kong Bundy inside that costume? I believe
Right.
it.
Oh, and let's talk about the big urn that the Undertaker had. A really, really big urn. Ritter, anything you want to say on that?
I don't know what was bigger, IRS's penis, my boner for Ginger Taker, or the size of this novelty urn that they were carrying around. You could kill a family of 4 and fit their ashes in there and still have room. Like, I have no idea why the urn had
It's
to
a
be
hotel
that
in
fucking big.
Right.
I can tell you why. I don't know. When was it? Was it Survivor Series 94? No, it was SummerSlam 94. I can tell you why it was that big. Because the original purpose of that urn was when he shook it and he's like, oh, my Undertaker's coming back. And then like the light came out of it and he was doing all this. So remember, technology in 94, they didn't have these big ass LEDs. They probably had probably Thomas Edison himself was inside of his urn.
Right.
And they shined the light off of it. So they just, obviously, Vince was like, damn it, I paid $5,000 for that urn. You're going to fucking use it. So that's literally probably why they still use this urn.
Probably. I'm
totally
looking
see
at
that
it. I'm like,
happen, too.
how many people do you have to burn to fill that urn? Like, what would... Literally, it would have to be a family of 4 died in a car crash, and then they cremated all of them together, so that you didn't have to carry 4 urns around. Like, there's no reason to have an urn that big.
Well,
Come
it was
on,
the
guys.
population of Death Valley in there.
Oh,
No, the Undertaker's power is just so massive. Like you need something to hold it all in.
Gotta
you
slang
know?
that thing.
Yeah, it's like it's the Undertaker. He's
that's 30 years of power right there. Inside that
Ashes
urn.
to asses.
Can we get
I
an
don't wanna do
ash
this
to
anymore.
Thank
ass
you, Kenny.
chant?
Sounds like
Yes,
a
to
Can we get a
asses.
Burger King chant?
Thanks,
goddamn
Vince.
pal.
Also, so I didn't watch any of the build up to this, but I was very confused. Like, I get everyone has their price, but like the Druids going forward have been Undertaker's thing. So were just 2 of them randomly cheap enough to take Ted's money and turn on Taker? Like, when did
I
they
was gonna say
when did
they
they change
turned him
sides?
at some time.
Yeah.
It was it Survivor Series or something? Like there was a storyline in this that he had paid them off or something
Yeah.
like that to join him. So I think it was like Undertaker was like looking for the Druids and then they turned on him and stuff like that. So I don't remember the exact storyline. But
It was in between Survivor Series and Rumble, which Peacock fucked me over, so I didn't watch any. But I didn't really have any interest in watching this anyways. But the Raw is in between. But so one thing we have to note after this match, IRS batters Paul Bearer in the back of the head. Takes his he doesn't take the urn. You ready for this, guys? He repossesses the urn. Yeah,
just like
because he's
the IRS would.
that's his
I
gimmick.
just got
That's his
chills.
gimmick, folks.
Are we implying that Paul Bearer was making payments on this big ass urn?
Oh, see, there's a whole layered backstory that we're not even grasping.
It was a leased urn.
Right.
They really missed
urn.
They really missed the boat on having the Repo Man come out and get the urn.
yeah,
A couple years too late off of that. He was playing golf down in WCW, Blacktop Bully or whatever the hell his name was. So I don't know why I randomly thought of it, but something else that was just mentioned a lot, and I didn't know if they were trying to get into international markets better or something, whatever the hell. They kept mentioning what the fucking time was in the UK during this pay-per-view. Every 2 seconds they were like, Jerry, what's the time in the UK? He's like, it's like a little after 2 a.m. See, look at Mickey's hand.
I think,
And it's
yeah, there was something there that started showing pay-per-views over there. There was something along those lines.
That's probably what it was.
yeah, because they mention it every couple minutes.
I don't know. They don't matter. They're not real people.
Or maybe Burger King was now established in the UK.
Oh, Burger Queen, huh?
Oh.
Yeah.
Or they were just
Queen of
catering to
England?
that WWE network audience just really, really, really early. Like, fuck everyone in America on Peacock. We're going to pay attention to who's got the network still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, Vince was foreshadowing because he said it so many years ago he wanted a network. So he was just seeing how it would work, really.
Yeah,
Being
that's
the
he's
genius that
smart.
he is.
He is the genius he is. So yeah, Undertaker stumbles to the back, which is an aspect I liked because he no longer has the urn. So now he's powerless, I guess. So he's a flaccid taker, some may say.
Damn it! I was literally gonna say he lost his boner. Fuck.
I saw the boner on the tip of your tongue. But that's it. Anything? Got anything? Nothing. Boners. WWF Championship match is next. We have Diesel, the champ, versus Bret Hart. So as Kenny mentioned earlier, Diesel is fresh off his win over Bob Backlund, who was champion for whatever reason. He was champion for a few days at the end of 94.
Because he was the Miz of this situation. He had to transition it from one person to the next.
I never thought Bob Backlund would be compared to the Miz, but
Never.
here we are.
I mean,
Here we
they
are.
both have the same exact penis size.
That, probably. What do you think, Rids? Waiting for you, Ritter.
I love
Changed
his
my
name
again,
changes.
sorry.
Yeah. He was just
I
like
thought he was just a
Ginger
deep
Daddy earned something just now that just
It was
switched.
Ginger Taker's big ass urn. Now
There
it's
you go.
Diesel is daddy.
There. But anyways. So we have Diesel, like I say, so he's new champion. I miss his music. I loved it when his music was literally just a horn over and over again.
Now we
But
get
now
those in Braun Strowman's gimmick.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh God. And this is the first part of the show, I believe, where we see LT in the audience prominently, at least.
No, they showed him throughout. They actually did a really good job of kind of like calling attention to it every now and then, so that like,
Right.
obviously stuff's gonna happen, but you knew LT was there. But the reason they emphasized it here was because they kept saying LT was invited by Big Daddy Cool Diesel, the WWF champion, to sit ringside. And Diesel almost misses his cue here because he walks up the stairs and then goes, "Oh shit, I'm supposed to go to LT."
Right,
Walks
yes.
right back down and then goes and says hi to LT.
God. But yes. So LT is there. Bret and Diesel are there. The match itself I thought was fucking great. This is my first time seeing it. I think this is the best Kevin Nash match I've ever seen.
That's what I was gonna actually. I wanted to point out was like I think a lot of people don't give Kevin Nash enough credit that like when he has a good dance partner, and Bret Hart is the best dance partner you can ever have in professional wrestling, and I mean that wholeheartedly. He could make a fucking broom look good. You know what I mean? But Kevin Nash had to be there for that too, as in like his timing. Everything. He does not get enough love because a lot of people look at his WCW run where he didn't give a shit. He just had a kid. He had money. He was happy, right? We're good. I think he says on paper like, "Hey, we're good." Like literally, just went along with anything. But at this time, the man was hungry and he was trying to prove himself as WWF champion, and you could see it. And he and Bret had probably one of the best matches in 1995.
Yeah.
Easily.
I could see that.
I mean, it's no IRS Undertaker, but yeah, it was pretty good.
It was not that. That is a fact. But then again, there's a lot of shenanigans in this match as well. But outside of that, it was really good. The whole premise here is that Bret is more aggressive than he normally would be. And you saw that, which is what Bret was so great at, is all the subtleties. So he had subtle changes in his style. Like he did a suicide dive, which really isn't a thing he did often, unless I'm just not familiar with Bret. His stomps had a little more mustard to them. Like all that stuff, he tied Diesel's feet around the ring post with his wrist tape and beat on him. Like all of that shit was really good. But then you had Diesel being the powerhouse that he is, so he had his place in the match as well. But the shenanigans in this match.
Yeah, who booked this shit, man? Who booked Rumble 95? Because literally you have the Intercontinental title match and the WWF Championship match where they both get a situation where the match is over and then gets restarted, and then they both, well, I don't want to say they both end the same way, but
It's
shenanigans
similar,
happen. Just it's similar in the IRS match and the IRS Undertaker match and this match.
Right.
Similar endings. So it's like, who's booking this shit? Like Pat Patterson's like, you know what? We great. It'd be banana. We put all these people. It's like, come on. Like, what's going on here?
Maybe it's Bruce. Was Bruce around then?
I don't know. I know he left at some
Pritchett?
point and came back. It's very possible. And whoever it was is the same person because it was the same logic.
Exactly.
Now Diesel goes for a jackknife, or I think he hits it, but HBK comes out, Shawn Michaels, and breaks up the pin, attacks Diesel, and then the ref, or it's a disqualification or whatever. But then Earl Hebner says that the match must continue.
It's got to restart.
The place goes crazy over this because they all thought it was over.
Yeah. No more of that, right? The crowd said. Glad all these, interferences are over. Oh, wait. So the match continues. Bret hits Diesel with a chair. He has his leg against the ring post. He hits him with a chair. It looks brutal. And he locks in the sharpshooter. Bret does. Then Owen Hart comes out and attacks Bret, because we're still doing this, apparently. This feud has been going on for over a year at this point. Owen Hart comes out and attacks Bret. Owen takes off the turnbuckle pad, throws Bret chest first into the exposed steel.
His favorite spot.
Oh, no. That was terrible.
Wait, what? It is his favorite spot. That's not a joke.
Oh, I thought you were making a reference to Over the Edge.
No, my God.
Because that's where he landed.
Wow, you just got really
I thought
that was
you
on
were.
you.
No, you said it.
Your mind went there.
Hold on.
Why is it his favorite
Bret
spot?
Hart. Wait. I'm talking about Bret Hart's favorite spot, because Bret Hart used to love to run at sternum first into the turnbuckle and take the turnbuckle.
All right.
Right? Everybody else got that, right? I'm not the villain here, right? Evereverody else understood what I was saying, right?
I think
Kyle,
you guys are.
it was here, and Kyle just like fucking.
I'm gonna leave, and you guys just finish this.
Between that and the Benoit joke we got 2 weeks ago in the chat, you guys are.
Oh man, but we're many years from that, so don't worry.
All is justified.
Owen Hart comes out. He attacks Bret. Again, it's kind of a disqualification kind of deal. But once again, the match gets restarted. Owen Hart gets kicked out. Once again, we have another match. And then Diesel crawls over to Bret after Owen Hart attacks him for a 2 count. Diesel goes for a jackknife. Bret counters. And then all the heels come out. Yeah, it's like, oh, we can't just have one heel at a time to end the match. We need to have all the heels, because that's apparently, they did it with Undertaker. Apparently, it's just a thing they did. And then at this point,
Baby face must be in peril.
and there's 2 baby faces, lots of peril. But so now it's a no contest, because it's just a bunch of chaos and we can't really do anything about it. It is brawling for several minutes. Everybody kind of finally clears out. Diesel and Bret shake and hug, and that's the end of it. So it's kind of a lukewarm finish, which maybe is why this match doesn't get talked about that much, even though it was great up until that point. But otherwise, I really enjoyed it.
This felt like a Dynamite main event.
Did it?
It did.
How's that? Oh, with all the brawls and the interference.
And then the hug at the end.
Factions.
Everyone getting involved.
Felt like a Dynamite main event.
Yeah.
Here I thought he was complimenting the work rate, and then I realized what he meant. It was a good match. I liked it, especially. I mean, these were your 2 guys. Obviously, Bret had been on top already. Diesel was I don't want to say the underdog, even though he was the champion, but he was proving himself at this time, and had a really good match. And then you saw all these heels come out, and you knew there were storylines in place for the next main event match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You didn't know which way they were going, but you could see some things happening there.
Right.
And also Jeff Jarrett and the Roadie coming out. I mean, 2 segments in one show, winning a title and coming out in the title match.
That's how you get the fans their money's worth.
That's 2 times more than we need to see Jeff Jarrett tonight.
What part of Double J didn't you understand?
There it is.
We're all having fun here. We're all having fun. But yeah, great match. And then, so after that, we get the whole Jerry Lawler drawing his face on Pam Anderson's tits, et cetera, et cetera. Then
I
after
just remember
that,
Mabel, him drawing on Mabel. That's the first person that comes to mind is Mabel for some reason in that shot.
Maybe next time.
He looked like he was about it.
He was. He would have been about it.
Showing that Big Daddy V,
Visagra.
Was he? No, he was Viscera at the time.
The world's largest love machine.
Largest love machine. Yeah.
Yep.
I miss those purple pajamas.
Yeah. It's a lot of material.
So does Lillian Garcia.
Okay.
Anyway.
Oh,
Visagra.
Visagra. Agra, but no Visagra needed in this next match because we're all plugged up on our sparks. We have Bob Sparkplug Holly and the 1-2-3 Kid versus Bam Bam Bigelow and Tatanka.
Can I speak on this? I know why it happened, and I know why the position was the way it was. But you know how pissed off I am to this day that this match followed the WWF Championship match?
It's a let up, brother.
I get
Gotta
it.
let them get their popcorn.
But fucking Bam Bam Bigelow and Tatanka faced the 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Sparkplug Holly in the pretty much the main event before the Royal Rumble.
That's how you get the crowd revved up. Get it? Because he's a race car driver.
I see what you did there.
Yep.
And I mean, you're probably about to say it, but like they weren't even supposed to be in the match, the storyline. Like, oh my god, I really hated this match for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, the tag division was pretty much non-existent at this point. I mean, really,
Today or 95?
I was thinking about it. Really, there was a period between like 99 and 2001 where it was kind of a thing. But then outside of that, it's really never been a thing in WWF, WWE. So I guess it's really no surprise. But because you had like the, two dudes with attitudes holding the titles for a little bit, HBK and Diesel, and then the head shrinkers won it, but then one of them left, and it was a whole thing. And this match felt like it got a bizarre amount of time. Like, It was a good match though. It was like, yeah, it was
for
fine.
what it was a fun little match. Like, to give them credit.
Yeah.
Obviously the four of them worked their asses off in this spot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's funny. We're all talking like this is kind of just a throwaway match, but it sets up the main event of WrestleMania.
That's why I said I understand why it happens, because in the long run, you got to put Bam Bam up there too.
Yeah.
Because you got to elevate him, but it's still makes me mad. Like, I'm a traditionalist, and I'm like, the WWF title goes on last, damn it.
Yeah. But it's Royal Rumble. I guess it's a bit different, but it is what it is. The match itself was just kind of there for me. Like I said, it was fine. Towards the end, Bam Bam is going for a moonsault, but I think Tatanka like accidentally hits him or something.
So no, it's way worse than that.
Tell me
it's
what it was.
Way worse. So Bam Bam Bigelow takes his sweet cheeks up to go ahead and do the moonsault. And when he does that, Tatanka slides under the ring, and he sees a prone, I don't know who it was, 1-2-3 Kid, I think. He sees a prone 1-2-3 Kid, and he decides, you know what? I'm going to tomahawk chop the shit out of this guy. So he goes to hit the ropes and then come down with the tomahawk chop. I can't say those words properly.
I just heard you say tomahawk cock or something like that. I don't know what you just
think
said.
it's
That's what I want to say. Long, hard chop. Anyway, so what happens? Oh no! He accidentally knocks Bam Bam from the top rope here because he hit the ropes. Didn't realize his partner was up there. So Bam Bam comes down like legal proceedings on an ex-husband, and he just slams down to the mat, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And then, I mean, that's literally the finish of the match.
This is a prime example of why you don't put two singles guys together as a tag team. Like,
So that's maybe that's the storytelling here. There's just no team cohesion, so they didn't know, or they didn't know where the left hand and where the right was, or whatever the phrase is. But yes, he literally Bam Bam just falls off the top rope, very reminiscent of the WrestleMania 10 main event finish. He just falls, and then the babyface pins him.
1-2-3 Kid gets the 1-2-3.
There it is.
I see what happened here. Now I understand.
That's the gimmick. But so yes, Bob Holly and or Hardcore Holly and X-Pac are the tag team champions for whatever reason.
The Cinderella story.
Man,
Because remember, in what we haven't explained is that in kayfabe, in the storyline here, is that the Smoking Guns were supposed to be the challenging here, but they went down with an injury or somebody was attacked or some shit, and then 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Sparkplug Holly, the Cinderella story, who wasn't supposed to even be at the Rumble, they win the tag team titles. But this is ruined before they even get to the ring, because it's like, whoever wins this match is going to challenge the returning Smoking Guns. It's like, wait. So if they're cleared already, why aren't they back in this match?
that's. I didn't even bother thinking too far into it because it was just.
To me, like, Vince should have said that maybe mid-match. I'm getting word that the doctors have cleared the smoking guns for tomorrow night, and the winners of this match, like, that would have been exciting. But instead, like, before they even have the match, like, I don't know.
I think they just should have thrown the guns in there and had a triple threat
That's what I
TLC
mean.
match.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm kind of saying is, like,
better.
if they were cleared, right, in
Right.
kayfabe, why wouldn't they be in the match? But maybe I'm thinking too much. Maybe they weren't, travel wasn't arranged for them. You know, Pat Patterson was too busy booking the same finish for like 3 matches.
Right.
Whatever.
It takes time. I don't know. Maybe Butterbean attacked Bart Gunn backstage or something. Setting
All
up
of
their
the
match in a
creative
few
went
years,
into
but-
Mantaur tonight, all right? And he needed it. So
Yes.
we didn't have time for different finishes.
The debut of Mantaur.
We didn't have time for any of that. We had all big debut Mantaur, who I'm fairly certain was my great-grandfather.
Look, if Ritter's granddaddy had sex with a buffalo, you'd have Mantaur.
Why are we saying if? As if we don't know that this happened.
I thought that's how Ritter was created. No.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That would explain a lot.
Butterbean got in there somewhere.
He's always an aspect of it. But I'm just trying to get right to Mantaur, man. You guys have the cock. You have your cocks out.
So
We do.
I will say at some point during this Royal Rumble, I'm probably going to go take a piss break because I've drank a lot of water
That's
since
fine.
we've been on this call. So if I just disappear
I pissed
randomly-
4 times on Kenny's
That's where I'm
episode we
going.
were all on, so it's perfectly fine.
There's a time period where I've demanded. I already asked of these 3 gentlemen here that.
No, you're not letting the people
span of
know.
a minute.
You're just gonna say it awkwardly.
Okay.
With no context.
I won't say what it is, but there's a span where I want to talk.
I feel like I want to
Okay.
be here for that, though. Like, I don't want to leave during Kenny's rant. Like, I got to be here for that.
Okay, you're right.
I mean, you can just listen to the episode, you know.
I guess I could just listen back to the episode, yeah.
But he wants to feel me live and in person.
Oh.
Like, why have porn when you can have sex with me?
Exactly.
That's
See,
true.
I understood. Feel the walls of my words.
That's a very good segue, actually, into the special guest for this Royal Rumble. So does everybody have their cocks out, pulled up to 157.39?
Yep.
39. I thought it was 37.
I'm at-
Oh, okay. Hold
Yeah,
I
on.
mean,
yeah,
I'm at
I'll throw you way
38,
off.
but what's a second?
A second.
How are we
That's
gonna do
the
this? Is everybody
Okay,
gonna
I
have
got
their
it 39.
volumes up? Because you're probably gonna hear it.
I
so-
have mine down.
Well, he's recording, so he's as long as we don't. Yeah.
When-
I have headphones.
I was going
on.
to say, when I did it and
Yeah.
played through my headphones, he couldn't hear anything. I will say, just like this show, we should start with what was it, an 8 count before we... A 6 count? An 8 count? What
Right.
did this give us?
8. 3 count.
King
No.
Kong Bundy Jr. over here with his 8 count.
All right. So I will. Yeah, I'll give an 8 count.
Hey, what happened to Sean Spears on the 4th of July after he blew out 2 fingers? He became the perfect 8. No? All right.
I don't want to do this anymore. All right, 157, 39 or somewhere thereabouts. All right.
Yep.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Howard Finkel putting over
Oh,
Pamela
man.
Anderson here.
Special guest.
Don't touch her. Pat Patterson says don't touch her.
Man, is it,
It must
cold
be
in
cold
there?
in there.
folks?
Yes, see? Thank you.
Nipples. Jerry Lawler loves it.
I bet they wrestled in the back to, figure out who was going to walk her down to the ring. There was definitely a
No,
fight.
not at all.
I
'Cause
don't.
Pat Patterson
There
has
is.
walked down Miss Elizabeth. He's walked down Pam Anderson. He definitely is the don't let fans touch the woman
Yeah.
guy.
Well,
And he's not
Pat's also a
wrestling.
safe bet not to touch the woman, so...
There we go. There it
Correct.
is.
Correct.
What is Fink doing?
Fink
Why
is
is he
rubbing his
grinding on the
cock
rope?
on the rope.
She's leaving. Okay, I thought she was
She's
gonna,
leaving. I was
I
gonna
thought
say
she was
he
the first
was,
entrant.
I thought he was humping the rope. I thought he got real excited.
Yeah, he's doing a little Dolph Ziggler action on the rope. Do you think she knows where she's at?
No, not at all.
Where am I going?
She has no idea what's
Is
going
this Monster Trucks?
on. There was rumors that her and Tommy Lee, they couldn't get her out of the limo. at this time. So I mean, there you go.
They couldn't get her out of the limo.
As in, like, the two of them were in the limo together for a while during this event.
Why were they?
So
Like,
she almost missed her cue.
were they eating a charcuterie board or something in there?
Yes.
That explains the nipples.
For the sake.
No.
You got it. Squab under glass is what we're saying.
Oh man. HBK. He draws number 1. What an unlucky pick for that guy.
There's no way he's making
Got a
it.
fun fact for you here.
What's
I
up?
think he was dating a girl at the time here. You see it says TK with the heart?
Uh-huh.
That's a little something for her. So basically he was looking at the camera and blew the kiss. As far as I'm concerned, it says the Kenny, so Shawn Michaels is blowing a kiss to me.
I think he's saying he's going to AEW.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was thinking
Tony
Tony
Khan.
Khan. 100%.
Damn it.
Our
They are in
kid,
Florida.
He's all elite. Yeah.
I was gonna say Tony Khan's all of like 10 at this time.
Right? Jesus. I wonder if he's
Number
there.
1 fan. Gotta respect.
I bet you he is there. Isn't he a Florida? Is he from Florida? I would assume, right?
I don't know if they lived in Florida this time. Who knows?
I don't know. Who am I?
Like, I want to know how I was a completely heterosexual male looking at this. And I used to love Shawn Michaels dancing. And, like,
So does Pam.
how did I turn out straight?
Oh, I didn't wear my Shawn Michaels shorts today. What a mistake.
Are you sure about that,
What,
Kenny?
the
Though?
booty shorts?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm a little confused myself.
Well, when you're
My,
looking at Shawn Michaels in his
damn it.
hairy chest, you know. What about
My
your
thing
penis?
is like rendering now, so I'm probably gonna be behind you guys.
That's fine. I'm at 1. I'll try to call out time codes throughout too for people listening. So I'm at 2004748.
And
49.
out comes Britain's own, the British Bulldog.
Hall of Famer.
Number
British
2.
Bulldog.
Hell yeah.
Yes, very true.
This might have been my favorite Bulldog look because, like, I was convinced this guy was becoming a main eventer now.
Yeah, this was his. He felt like the guy that they were slotting in
I don't know.
as the next big baby face.
I like Bulldog in the jeans.
No.
When
When the Rock into the dog poop, with the Rock bottomed him.
Because it's literally like Bulldog and Razor and Bret and I guess there's a couple baby faces that are big.
You
but
see all that blood on the damn mat? That's Bam Bam Bigelow's blood from his lips, because it was all over the 1, 2, 3 kid's crotch. I don't know why. Go watch it back.
man, he has
But
those
there's
Matt
just
Ritter
blood.
lips that just bursts.
Burst full of love. Shawn Michaels doing the Ric Flair spot like over and over and over.
Bulldog is just a thick, meaty man. Like, he's like Big E.
Is that
but
Ico Pro,
absolute
man?
White British in 95.
Now Bulldog was definitely the guy. Like, he had the look, man. It was like so sad that he just never got that spot.
Yeah.
What's it been, like 30 seconds they've been in this match? We already got another guy coming out?
Yeah, 95 was quick. 95 Rumble was quick.
Yeah, I think it's like 45, 50 minutes, right?
It's one of the Nazi brothers.
This looks like Sam Huxley. I don't know if anybody watches NXT
Yes.
UK.
Yes. This is one of the Blue brothers, Jacob Eli Blue. Trust me, I have this. I have this on mute, by the way,
Right.
but I know what the commentaries say.
I mean, this guy, I've never heard of this guy in my life, but he seems like he means
This
business.
is so he became one of the Harris brothers. Remember DOA?
Right. Oh,
Holy
okay.
shit,
So,
that's
yeah,
what he looks like with hair?
Yeah, and then so these were the Harris twins, and then remember they actually more of a fun fact. They actually had a manager, Uncle Zebekiah, who was who?
Zeb Coulter.
Zeb Coulter.
Dutch
Ooh,
Mantel.
So that's where they got Dutch Mantel.
We
That's
got
where
us
they
a
the name
historian
from.
over here.
Well, the Ron,
Yeah, so that's where they got the name from, because Uncle Zebekiah, Zeb Coulter.
That's fun.
I think Ron and Don Harris is the perfect time. I will be back.
What Duke the Dumpster Drosy doesn't
you're gonna-
interest you? You're gonna miss the dumpster.
They were pushing.
Kyle, what's your
Dumpster.
timestamp right now?
203 28 29 30.
Got it.
Just want to make sure you don't miss the Dumpster. But yeah, they were pushing Dumpster weirdly hard, like in late
Yeah, he was-
'94.
He was over for some reason too, like neighborhood trash man, and
Right.
good lord.
He's like my go-to like weird reference after like S.A. Rios and Danny Basham, if I want to just throw somebody off. Because I've only known him from the gimmick battle royal from WrestleMania 17.
Really? Okay. No, I knew him from this run, so he was weird to me in the battle royal because he was all bald and stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is a dumpster I remember with the little back brace and the. This Rumble is fast, man. They were the 1 minute intervals in '95, so it was quick.
He's
The
totally
quick C
stealing
Rumble.
Eric Rowan's gear.
Oh my God! Hold on. Speaking of boners, it's the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey.
Oh no.
So fun fact, the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey is like an inside joke between like a friend and I. Like we act like he's like up there with The Rock, even though he was like a tag team wrestler. So it's like we will like put him over of like the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey, the precursor to Shawn Michaels, the guy, you know, like the I don't know, it's a huge inside joke. So
He was with Tom Pritchard, right?
the Doctor of Desire,
Oh yes.
Tom Pritchard,
Doctor of Desire.
What was their tag team name again? It was like
the Heavenly Body.
there it is. I wanted to say the Beautiful Blondes. I knew that was wrong.
I'll tell you, so maybe this is why like I'm okay with wrestling when it's kind of crappy, because I was definitely like very in tune to like 94, 95.
Yeah, it's clear. So you know all the backstories behind these guys.
Yeah,
Fucking
like
Eric
so,
Lou, whatever that guy's name was.
like when you got Captain Lou Albano coming out with, is this Sione? Yes, this is the Barbarian, Sione as he was called, because as Kyle alluded to, Samu had left. And there was a whole storyline with the Head Shrinkers where they had recently come into the possession of boots.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to learn how to use boots. So they were slipping on the top rope and stuff like that because they'd never worn shoes before.
And that was the whole
Fun
thing at
fact.
Survivor Series.
Can we just
94,
talk about
where-
the selling from Shawn Michaels? I mean,
Oh.
So I'm convinced that Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey was supposed to win this Rumble, accidentally got messed up here, and they had to give it to someone else.
That's why the title match wasn't the main event of Mania, because it was prepared for Del Rey.
This was Gigolo's moment, in fact, and they took it away from him. Anyway, Joey was saying something though.
I said the selling from Shawn Michaels was just
It's phenomenal.
everything.
Definitely, and you could tell like he was ready for his moment. His
Like
break,
anytime
you know?
the camera's on him, he's just selling.
It's a Doctor of Desire.
Oh no.
Didn't he just get eliminated? Is that not the same
Nope.
person?
No, hell no. No, the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey just got eliminated. This is the Doctor of Desire, Tom Pritchard, his tag team partner.
I'm fairly certain they're the same person.
The left ball to his right ball.
Fairly certain that was the same person. You just ran out.
It
came
was
back.
not because okay, they had completely different dances. Don't make me do them. So Tom Pritchard, he would just go like this with his hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey, he would do this with his pudgy belly. He would just literally just dance.
You mean
Can we
it's
clip
heavenly?
that? Could we clip
belly?
that from Kenny?
Oh, I got it. I'm gonna put that in my personal collection. Is that their theme
I
music?
have their themes. Yeah, I have it memorized.
You have the Heavenly Bodies theme
unfortunate.
song accessible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I actually have the custom Titantron for the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey on my YouTube channel.
I believe it. I believe it.
I'm dead serious. Serious as a heart attack. Serious as Doink the Clown.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
what would
no, it's
95
not
be
very
without
serious.
Miz?
Man, if you guys,
I don't know which Doink this is, but this is definitely I hated Doink at this time because Doink was such a good gimmick when Doink was a heel.
Yeah.
And Matt Bourne left, and then we
Yeah.
got this crap.
So this isn't the evil clown.
No, this is babyface circus Doink.
Is this after or before Evil Doink?
Evil Doink was 93.
Okay.
So 2 years after.
So,
I
so
thought
the best
Evil
year
Doink
in
was
wrestling,
badass.
according to you.
Yeah.
When we had Evil Doink.
Evil Doink was great because it was like wrestling's it.
Yeah.
Perfect. It was amazing. When you would look in the camera and just go and just get all serious, it's like it's good stuff.
I feel like it's kind of like what the Fiend is, like kind of like an adjacent, almost similar kind of deal to what Evil Doink.
Similar.
I've always looked at Bray
least inspired
as,
by.
Is that Quang?
Yeah.
The martial
Fabio
artist.
Vega, fun fact.
It is.
You've always looked at
You're always saying about Bray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always looked at Bray as everyone. Oh well, he's a dark character. They compare him to the Undertaker. I always looked at him as a Mick Foley. Like I feel like he's this generation's man.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
It's
I
so
can see
true,
that.
though.
I can see that.
Quang. Do you think Savio Vega actually knows any martial arts?
I
Yes.
whatever he knew, it was on full display here.
Because all literally does is, and it
Just hits the like karate pose.
and it just punches him a few times. And then,
When you got a Puerto Rican playing a karate expert, I mean, what do you really expect?
I mean, you got what is Barbarian? He's not Samoan, is he?
I want to say Tongan or Fijian or something.
Oh, okay.
He's from the islands.
Oh, okay. So it's they're all the same, right? In this era. One of the never mind. All right.
I had no idea the model Rick Martel was still around at this time. By the way, he feels so out of place here because
Right.
it's like I thought he was gone already.
I was in there with Bob Backlund and I think
And like
oh my god, Nikolai Colt. What the fuck was his name? Nikolai.
Jacob or Eli Blue, whichever one it is.
He
I'm
had
not looking at his name.
feud. I don't remember with who, but it was, I want to say either late 95 or early 96 Monday Night Raw, because when we went into the pandemic era and we had those no crowd shows, me and Travis said, fuck this, we're just going to go back and watch old wrestling. And that's where I first fell in love with my new favorite wrestler, Doug Furnace, was watching old Raws. But
Doug Furnace and Philip LaFon?
yeah, well, fuck LaFon. LaFon's not important. Doug Furnace is the shit.
Hey, whoa.
Furnace is the shit. But yeah, no, the model Rick Martel was on there.
Furnace with his sexy curly hair.
Here we go.
Is this Mantaur?
I hope so.
I don't know why I would. Nope. It's the Rocket.
It's very not Mantaur.
It's the Nugget.
It's the Rocket. And look at this. Out comes Bret the Hitman Hart. It just completely wails on the Rocket.
Oh, that's fun.
For no reason. And Jerry the King Lawler is going crazy on commentary. He's like basically insinuating Bret Hart's out here for no reason. and this is a travesty that the Rocket hasn't even made it to the ring. And right when this countdown's about to come up in a couple seconds, let's see. Okay. He's laid out the Rocket. Bret Hart is a man incensed. This is a Bret Hart we've never seen before, Vince is saying. He's aggressive. Okay, Mantaur sweaty pits, because I want to talk about this minute of professional wrestling right here. Bret Hart is making his way back to the dressing room, and in the most confusing minute of professional wrestling, he almost gets blindsided by Timothy Well. Now, Timothy Well, right here, you hear a huge pop. What had happened was that Owen Hart was thrown out off camera. The most confusing minute of professional wrestling here, because not only are you confused, but then Earl Hebner gets taken out by Duke the Dumpster Droese. They go back, and Timothy Well does this shit in the turnbuckle. I, to this day, don't understand what Timothy Well was trying to do.
Martel.
And then out he goes, and Mantaur sweaty pits are done. But that is literally the most confusing minute of professional wrestling in my life. Explain what happened there.
There was just, I think there was just so much going on at one time. Like I can't even like.
Right.
You're like what? But how do you not get Owen?
So
Going over.
So right now they've really not explained it yet.
No,
because,
I don't think they even know.
It sounded like Timothy Well just got this monster pop. Timothy Well and his man thong. Well done was not look right there. Here's his man thong. Timothy Well was not a popular wrestler. Was a jobber.
Right.
But literally what happened was, Owen Hart gets thrown out by the British Bulldog as soon as he hits the ring. And it sounded like Timothy Well just got a huge reaction. And then as I'm trying to process that,
Didn't like
Duke
7
the
people
Dumpster
just get
Droese.
eliminated just like in the past 5 seconds?
But more so, Duke the Dumpster Droese gets thrown out and takes out Earl Hebner in the process.
Literally just clocked him in the head.
So, here's what I saw. Timothy Well was trying to get. He got that pop. He got excited. He was trying to get over. He saw the Rocket. Owen Hart was gone, so he rocketed into the corner. And then he saw Shawn Michaels on his way. He's like, "I'm gonna do that cool Shawn Michaels backflip thing," but he's nowhere near as athletic as Shawn. So he just botches it terribly. Embarrassed,
But it looked
gets eliminated. Says, "Fuck it, I ruined it." There it goes.
But I just didn't understand because his feet hit one rope and hit the next and it bounced off.
Bounced
I
off
don't
of
know.
it.
That hit me so much. I don't know why. That clip of Timothy Well
That is a moment that I'm obviously I come from the era of VCR, so I had this taped, and I would literally go back quite literally every day and just watch that minute of professional wrestling and go, what happened in this spot with Timothy Well? That was the part that confused me the most.
Now he's
That
been
is
eliminated.
fantastic.
Does anybody know
Again,
Shawn
same guy.
Michaels? Sorry, yeah. Go, Britter. You're good.
That was his twin brother. That was one of the Blues brothers. Because they were in ECW as the Blue. Oh my God, we're the Bruise Brothers, the Bruise Brothers, and then they came to the WWF as the Blue Brothers. Stupid, because Vince was like, "Bruise, we don't want kids hearing about bruises."
I'm still convinced the
Does
Gigolo
anybody
got
know
eliminated
Shawn
twice.
Michaels? Shawn Michaels' elimination number in this match?
It's up there.
Yeah, I haven't been paying
Easy.
attention. I should have.
He's eliminated like half.
I mean, I feel like
everybody.
most of them have occurred off camera, so who knows?
Grandpa.
Oh man,
Fun fact.
what a family tree.
Grandpa
Fun
in his
fact,
glory days.
I'm sure people know Married with Children.
Oh, now they're showing.
Created the Bundys in honor of King Kong Bundy. Takes place here in Chicago, where I live. So quite possibly
Oh, really?
a distant relative, King Kong Bundy.
Now we just got a reference to Owen going over.
Owen, and it's still a horrible camera angle.
Yeah.
And as you can see, just like me, King Kong Bundy is trying to get the British Bulldog's pants out of the way.
Did anybody? Can we acknowledge King Kong Bundy came in and gave one of the worst gut kicks anybody's ever done?
You know
Like,
how hard it is for guys our size to get
extraordinarily
their leg up?
unathletic
Alright?
this guy
Forget
is.
that. No, you're not focusing on what's important. Can we focus on the fact that the British Bulldog is tanned all the way up to his ass cheek?
No
Like
tan
the fact that
lines.
he is that even of an ass cheek, that even of a tan on his ass cheek is miraculous.
It's very smooth. Is this
What are the
Mo?
1, 2.
Look out, Mo!
What are the record times in this match? I mean,
No
like,
Mo
majority of these
Mo,
people
huh?
have gone over like in
No
seconds.
Mo in the Rumble.
Yeah, does that,
Breaking the record
I
there.
was going to say, that had to have been 3 seconds. Just because Mo doesn't
Better
run
than
fast.
Santino's record.
Yeah.
No, the record I think is at this point is Bushwhacker Luke.
I think Santino beat it. I think it was literally a
Santino
second.
beat
Yeah,
it.
Santino beat
I'm
it.
saying at this time
this
in
point.
'95.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. Yeah. But Mo of Men on a Mission. If it wasn't obvious that Mabel was about to break off into
Right.
as a star by himself,
There.
they have Mo thrown out in like 2 seconds.
There's the reason 95 is a bit of a downer.
Sean's just like,
weird.
fuck
Oh
you.
my God,
Fuck it, I'm
SummerSlam.
tired. Have fun.
Speaking of which,
Oh
Yeah,
man,
here-
what are the odds for one after the other? See, he knows he has a secret. You don't sprint to the ring. You lumber.
now, it was good booking here though, because obviously Mo got embarrassed by King Kong Bundy, and then out comes Mabel to avenge him.
That'll
Mabel
be
look like a
wise.
giant peanut butter jelly and chocolate sandwich right here.
Man,
So I actually have a theory that if they had kept Mabel as a babyface, I think he'd have been a lot better in his main event run.
I can see that.
I don't know.
What people don't realize, Mabel's probably all of like 24 years old here.
That's
Like
crazy.
he's just a
Yeah.
big gargantuan man, but he was a young guy at this time.
I feel like they tried to slot him into Yokozuna because Yoko was kind of on the down slope at this point.
Well, he's about to
You're
have
right.
some real
Yep.
heel heat. with me if he
Looking for the
eliminates
next
my
big
grandpa.
guy.
Oh man. Is this Bushwhacker Tim? What's the other Bushwhacker called?
Bushwhacker, Butch, and Luke.
Yeah.
So this is Butch.
I wish we had the soundboard so we
Wow.
could do the
Up.
2 big meaty men
There
slapping
he
meat.
is.
I can add it in post.
That was probably the longest elimination I've ever seen.
This is dramatic.
If you got to get a walking condominium out of the ring.
It's true.
It's true.
Poor bushwhackers.
2 big meaty men slapping meat.
It's like
There it is.
a walking filled condom, more so.
Right. And Jerry the King Lawler's putting over Mabel as his pick. So he's changing picks throughout the whole
Yeah.
Rumble.
He does that every
This is
year.
thing.
Like that's
Yeah, but it's really bad this year, which is really funny.
Oh man, that's some
Who's next?
tricep strength from HBK there.
I saw something very similar to that on Pornhub last night.
There's Made in the USA. Now remember, this guy, this was going to be the next Hogan, right? So
Oh,
a lot of people thought this was the guy winning the
Yeah.
Rumble here. That's why you got the reaction you got. So
Yeah.
This is the guy. I mean, look at it.
That
Right here,
is-
boom.
That is a shiny motherfucker.
yeah.
Right.
Mabel
Look at,
and
look at
Lex
the
Luger.
power, though. You know, I saw a picture of him actually this morning standing up, and it just looked like... I can't believe, like...
It's sad
Yeah.
that like I said this to a friend recently. I'm bigger than Lex Luger now. That is just something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like that's tough,
Yeah.
man. Because Lex Luger was like, I mean, look at him right here in his
Yeah,
prime,
look at
and,
this.
Like to know that he's like 150 pounds now and stuff. Like I'm 180.
chair
I
and
literally
just
mean
can't-
that I'm bigger than him. You know, it's weird.
When you stop taking steroids, Kyle, you're gonna look like Lex Luger does.
That's why you never
Yeah,
do.
that's true. You know what? Every
You
time I
never
see
do.
Kyle, it's just bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, I don't know what's happening here.
It's that
That's
coat.
just his,
Explain
that's just his
yourself.
dick. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Ritter, go ahead.
So, if you saw the way this man traveled to the ring and all of the sexual prowess that he has, that is the same sexual prowess that I carry into the bedroom every night.
You know, I am booking it right now. I want to do a Halloween show where we dress up as our favorite wrestlers. And Ritter,
Ritter's Mantaur.
I'm
You
making
gotta have the little horns.
I'm
You
making
gotta
a
have the little
request.
horns on-
I'm a little disappointed that he didn't come down like with the head on though.
That's what I'm-
Where's the
I
head?
I'll
literally,
talk about that in a second. Let Kyle say what he was gonna say.
I
though.
thought he wrestled in the helmet. Like I didn't know he
Right.
like had this secondary like layer to him. So this is
Okay.
this is a new fresh take for me.
Well, let's talk. The problem that I had was at the Rumble at this time had no fanfare for entrances and things like that.
Right.
This was Mantar's debut.
Yeah.
So you're trying to put over this new character. And speaking of
fuck is
fucking
this?
debuts, look, I'm not. Look, there may be somebody here who just had
this-
this guy on his podcast. I'm not
I was
saying
about to
who.
say, is this former guest of the Apron Bump?
But here's what I'm saying. Mantar debuted. He was dead on arrival. He debuted like that without the head.
That is hilarious.
So how the hell do you have him with the head afterwards?
You got
That's-
it.
Anyway.
I could have swore that was
Yeah, it's-
Primo
it's-
Cologne.
He literally, you can't fire him. You can't fire him. God,
So I
yeah.
stand corrected. I didn't know Kyle had him on, but two people have had. Well, no, sorry. I was referencing Kyle. Kyle did just have him on.
Yeah, no, wrestlers won't come on my show, so it wasn't me.
You know, only you come on your show.
That's true.
Damn it!
There it
I
is.
was gonna say
We'll
it.
all come on your show, Ritter.
I mean, it's on Pornhub,
Right.
so there's probably lots of people coming. Well,
How many men have come on your show?
Me and Kyle had a whole conversation about how I should try and approach Mr. Polacco about coming on Pornhub and the things I could ask him while on there. Because I told him, I was like, I was a little disappointed when they covered what they covered in that Battle Royal, that he didn't ask him to rank all of the wrestlers by penis size. Because he would know. Like,
Should've.
I would have got actual information. And
probably
it's
just
like,
sort of
no,
put
you should do
himself
that on
over.
your show, though. And then we talked about, you know, if I have X-Pac on, I could be like, hey, you want to come on a show? You know, it's on Pornhub, but this time you won't have to be naked.
One Night in Ritter.
Good lord.
Who just came out? Is this Hillbilly Jim?
Henry
Oh.
Godwin, the Hogman.
Any
so
person in
confused. She
overalls
does
is
not
Hillbilly
know.
Jim.
yeah. She's like, is this wrestling? What is this?
Look in the ring right now. You got a pig, a Mantar, and this
Dude,
guy
the-
with a jockstrap on his head.
That's just a Saturday night for you,
The
Kenny.
way
huh?
he just darted to the ring.
Holy
Oh, my
shit!
Goodness. He slides almost out
And,
of the
and this
ring.
is what, again, which goes back to my confusion. The Smoking Guns are in attendance at the Rumble.
Is Bart in this too?
It doesn't even matter. The point is, like, why are they here? Going back to the hardcore Holly 1, 2, 3 kid stuff is my point.
Man, what a cast of characters. And it
And
is.
Billy Gunn, just the holy crap. Like,
Yeah.
he's 57 years old currently and still runs the way he just did.
Well, I was
Yeah.
just going to say, who would have imagined that of all of the wrestlers in the ring right now, Billy Gunn would be the only one to have a match this week? Like,
I mean,
That's
I
crazy.
thought Mantar had a chance.
I did too. I saw main event running that guy. I still do.
Mantaur really is if you just took King Kong Bundy and you just kind of decreased the height, but kept the same
If you
weight.
took like Bowser and King Kong Bundy
Right.
and just like slapped them together.
I'm a big Mantaur guy now, man. I love this. I love what I'm seeing. I
Hey,
love every
look,
second.
you were asking about Bart Gunn.
Wow. And again, right after his partner. What are the chances?
A lot of body oil in this ring right now.
It is slippery in there. And not
This is
just 'cause of the
before Bart Gunn
sexiness
learned
and
like
Pam
he
Anderson.
could knock everyone in the locker room out, right? Because clearly that would have been the way to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. He's having right here. If he had just manhandled Butterbean like this,
Man, how do you see Bart's trying to figure out where to grab Mantaur?
He's trying
Yeah.
to grab one of his hooves. He's grabbing a hoof. And I wish commentary had said something like that, by the way. I don't know if they did.
That's
But
too
like
smart.
come on now. But I want you to notice something here. Look at the Bulldog and look at Shawn Michaels. You see the difference between them and the rest of the guys? That's sweat on them. The rest of the guys are using oil.
Alex is getting low. He's got a little frizzy hair. He's been in there a little bit.
I don't know. I think it might be sweat on Mantaur as well.
I mean, he sweats from breathing.
Here's a guy that would never use body oil. One Mr. Bob Backlund.
Oh man.
Imagine telling
Look at that
someone just
powerful
looking
chest.
at him here that was a former WWF champion. Just from the
One
entrance.
of the
alone.
biggest
worse?
WWF champions.
Even worse, he's the same age
What the
here
hell?
as Bobby Lashley is currently.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Uh-oh.
And out comes an incensed Bret Hart attacking Bob Backlund.
We've never
I
seen this
just
side of
love
him
Bret-
before. Oh my god.
I just loved how crazy Bret Hart looked because, like, literally, no matter who came to the ring, it was like Bret Hart just coming through, just like attacking everybody. Oh man,
I love it.
Look at Timmy White over here, not even giving a damn. Like, let the other refs take care of it. You got Steve Kern. I can see his gray sweater over there.
You know what's funny?
Powerful.
After how many times did he come out and attack somebody? You would think they would like do something with him
Like,
backstage.
right? You would think they'd
Keep
lock
an eye
him in
on
the
him.
locker room somewhere.
Like, you gotta get out of here. You gotta get out of here. Nope. Comes out.
Wait. The other half of Well Done. Is he gonna get the same pop?
No.
Why is he running like
Nope.
Joey, with
He's
both
running
of
like
our
he's carrying
grandfathers
groceries.
being in this Royal Rumble, yours being Bob Backlund, mine being King Kong Bundy, I don't understand how we've never done a show together. You know,
that? I can see it.
I'm just saying, Steve Dunn, looking like the bastard child of Lex Luger and the Ultimate Warrior. Maybe Owen Hart, the Ultimate Warrior.
That is. I've never.
Who thought that
Bret
thong was a
Hart.
good idea?
it
This
works
is the
for
first I'm
Oscar.
seeing of
Why
well
not him?
done.
But look at that. And look, Bret Hart.
Oh my god.
Just-
He's a man on a mission. Oh wait, no, he's not one of those. He's
No, and I'm pretty sure I put up the commentary, the audio a little bit. It said like a man possessed, just like I thought.
You know what I love about these segments too? When these guys they're like attacking each other like that, they send out like 20 officials and they can't break them up.
Right.
Well,
No, it
it's-
puts them over pretty well, and I love the can't keep up with the action kind of vibe
Yeah.
that it has.
right. Thank God you don't want
And
to.
then you miss
looking
Owen
what's
Hart
going on in the ring.
getting eliminated, so
We're missing Aldo Montoya in the ring.
First of all, I know what you're all thinking. You wanted an appearance by Dick Murdoch. Here it is.
Man, what a. Because you have Dick Murdoch, you have Nikolai Volkov, you have Bob Backlund, you have Rick Martel. It's like.
Fun fact. Dick Murdoch did die like a couple months later. I guess that's not
Did
a
he?
fun
I was
fact.
gonna say, why is that a fun fact?
Put your laughing hats on, everybody.
Dark side.
Well,
of the
we're already
Royal
in a
Rumble
dark
this
show, so
episode.
we're good.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So Dick Murdoch, right, has the weirdest nickname that is like, it's not dirty per se, but like for some reason it just sounds like it's just really bad, which is Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch. Like every time I say it, I just feel like
Captain
I'm
Redneck.
disgusted. Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch.
Yeah, it fits him. It fits his aesthetic. Oh man, Dick and Mantaur. That's the match that we've all wanted. that's the dream match right there.
So nobody's gonna believe me since you all didn't really watch this time. Adam Bomb was over
Oh yeah, it was.
like crazy at this time.
Yeah, it
was.
Because he had like just turned babyface. He had like a really weird heel run with Harvey Whippleman. And so Adam Bomb, he could have been an Intercontinental Champion coming up. Put it that way. Like I could have seen him taking off Jeff Jarrett.
Now he would go on to WCW and be Wrath, correct?
Correct.
Right.
And then
Chronic.
Brian Adams Brian Clark, his real name.
In Chronic.
Chronic.
'Cause Crush was the other Chronic, right?
Correct.
Yes.
And
We all know everybody here loves Crush.
Love it.
Now we can say Seth Rollins' gear was inspired by this guy.
Is it that or Bam Bam Bigelow?
You think
Yeah.
Kona Reeves and Kona Crush are related?
I think they're all related, right?
Somehow I don't
it's-
think so.
Oh, okay.
Here comes Fatu.
There's a lot of people on the show that don't know how to run.
Well, I mean, he was trying not to blindside
shit.
Captain Lou Albano,
Oh,
who
I was talking about
very
Captain Lou.
obviously in the way.
wonder
Man,
if we
that
could
look at
go
fire
back.
from Big Quiche.
and dub over the Usos theme music and all of the Head Shrinkers entrances.
Oh. It's so crazy to think how popular like the Usos and stuff have. No!
Ooh.
Damn it, no!
That'll be on the Richter scale, huh? Am I right? Am I wrong, fellas?
Freaking
On the
Mantaur
Ritter
gets
scale.
eliminated. Pamela Anderson is beside herself. But
Her nipples immediately became less erect.
I like the thought of Mantaur just in like his everyday life because he has to have that haircut, you know? Is he just like going to the bank and shit in the grocery store? With
I
that...
thought it was paint. I'm pretty sure it's paint.
Oh, was it?
It looks like hair.
Could have been.
We'll have to check that back.
But I guess it's the mid 90s, so it probably fits
Speaking
in.
of Crush,
Yeah, brother.
I forget and didn't even look at Mantaur, but I hated Crush at this time because it was just like he was having such a good babyface run as Kona Crush, and then they turned him into this jackass, tying up the Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 10 and all that. I hated this guy.
That was his last WWF match, right? At least televised.
Oh, Jesus, Steven Dunn's gone. I
Oh,
don't
no.
know.
He's
Let me ask you
done,
guys
huh?
a question, because we have so many different Rumbles over the history of it. Do you guys like the faster paced Rumbles like this, or like the slower, like, I guess a slower build where it takes a while for anyone to get eliminated, and then it's just like two people in the ring for a while, it's like those weird ways they do it? Like, I like this kind of style. What do you guys prefer?
I think it
Yeah,
depends
I mean,
on
it's.
the
I think it all depends on who's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually the answer I was gonna say. Because there's some Rumbles where it's good, slower paced.
Yeah.
Like 2007 with like the ending with Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker, and like that's like a really good Rumble. But as a general statement, I like the faster paced ones because I like the Rumble kind of being like I don't know what's going on and it's confusing, but I like it.
Yeah, like it's like
Kinda
your
like my
adrenaline
first
going.
sexual
and-
experience. Yeah, you know, it's like
Yeah. This is the first Rumble I've seen without entrance like theme songs, and it is. I feel like it does take away a lot.
yeah, it's hard to watch the older Rumbles with that because like I don't know, maybe it's just a part of the presentation, but I just the lack of theme songs is so weird because I can't imagine being in the arena
Right.
and like just not knowing who's running. That goes back to what I'm saying about Mantaur. Like you're debuting a character,
Yes.
and like all jokes aside, it's like, why should we give a shit? We don't know who this guy is. We've never seen this character, and he's just running out to the ring to fight. You know, so very different than like an AJ Styles day because you know Mantaur and AJ Styles are the
Yeah. Pretty much the same.
in that same upper echelon, but it's very different than like AJ Styles debuting in the Rumble in 2016.
It also takes away from the crowd too, because if you look at the crowd, everyone's sitting. No one knows
Yeah,
what's gonna happen.
yeah.
You know what I mean? The
Is
theme
everybody-
songs give a chance to like, oh crap,
everybody
something's
in?
happening. You know?
Was that the last entrance? I feel like we haven't seen an entrance in a while.
That's true. Again, there's no
Who came out?
number 30 or anything. It's just a countdown. Someone runs in. 30 seconds later, countdown. Someone runs in.
Yeah, we haven't seen a.
I guess I'm trying to think of who else. Would
Oh yeah,
be.
Crush was number 30.
Was he? I'm like looking at this like collection of people and like who people would have thought was gonna win this match.
Lex Luger.
I feel like
I was gonna
Bulldog.
say, I think
Bulldog and
Luger
Michaels.
was up there.
Yeah.
I think Luger, Shawn, Bulldog, believe it or not, Adam Bomb, like I said, was up there. I think that's and Crush. I think that was probably the.
Oh my God!
at
Jesus
Murdoch.
Christ, Murdoch! What are you doing?
Love it. That little what do you call it? Head.
You know
That's
what's
how you
crazy
pussy.
too?
Dog headbutts.
This entire match, Shawn Michaels has just been going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you see a Rumble and someone comes in at number 1, number 2, sometimes you see him like laying on the side, like just waiting for something. This guy's been going him and Bulldog, both going the entire time.
You know that there's always like if you always pay attention to the Rumble, there's always a ring general, and there's always somebody who's kind of like dictating the match.
Yep.
Like I've seen Jericho do it one year, and Shawn Michaels was definitely the guy this year.
Absolutely.
And regardless of the outcome, you know what I mean? Like sometimes they pick like a guy like who can be the guy to make all this madness work, and Shawn's definitely doing it.
Yep.
Well, it might be Aldo Montoya now that I think about it.
It could be. What do you think was better, his run here or his run with X Factor?
Definitely X Factor.
Yeah,
So I thought Dick Murdoch was about to eliminate Shawn Michaels there.
Yeah, I just
Even though I've seen this multiple times, and I got scared. My heart jumped into my chest or jumped into my mouth there.
see. I've never seen this part of the Rumble. I've just seen the ending.
yeah.
Everybody has.
I literally know nothing about this Rumble other than the
Yeah.
ending.
I'm not familiar.
Which is why I called dibs on this one.
Right?
And you know what's
It's
crazy
such a bizarre
too?
one.
You know how like today's day and age they make it so like significant. Oh, the final 4, the final 3.
Yeah.
Look at the match right now.
Right. That's why we were all confused at number 30 because
Yeah.
usually the ring is a lot more cleared out.
Yeah.
But like they were still in the heat and the thick of things. I mean, they still got freaking Dick Murdoch.
Yeah,
in
that's
it
what I'm
for
saying.
What they got.
What
Look
a
at that
drop
drop
kick by
kick.
Dickie.
What is
Crush is crushing it right now.
Vince McMahon putting over Dick Murdoch. Can you imagine Dick Murdoch winning?
Oh,
It's
Man.
the
I
UFO.
hope to see it. The most spectacular move
Now look at
in
this.
WrestleMania
Look
history.
at this.
Wow.
Dick
The
Murdoch
way he
dumped
goes-
on his fucking
Yeah,
Oh,
just
look at the
fell.
athleticism by Hillbilly Jim.
Henry
I don't
Godwin.
care. He's Hillbilly Jim. Fuck you. Oh, he's lost an arm.
Actually, it's Henry O. Godwin. You get it?
No, can you explain it
His
to me?
initials are Hog.
Oh, it's fun. Like pigs, right?
And then you had his cousin Phineas I. Godwin. Mm-hmm. Pig.
That's just good comedy.
You mean Phineas isn't spelled
Yeah.
with an F? He's not Fig? Fuck.
Could we get an NFT of Henry Godwin's appearance in this match?
Absolutely
We
not.
could, but
I'll buy
Million
it.
Dollar Man would buy it before any of us got our hands on it.
God, I'd buy it.
look at the
That is
crowd. Like in the background, no one is moving.
It's Tampa. Okay, let me be fair.
Like there's
I've been to Tampa shows, and I'm not trying to knock my hometown here, but Tampa people are horrible for a wrestling show. I understand why they don't come here.
there's
often,
one sign.
right. That's my point. This is '95.
Yeah.
Like, this is a hot time period in terms of like fan participation, not even
Yeah.
in terms of the show.
And they're all looking.
But
Everyone's.
They're all
You know what's
on their
funny about this? Because this is
iPhones.
before like, I was gonna say this is before before like texting and stuff. So everybody's you normally you'd see people like on their phones and shit. But everybody's
Yeah.
just
Right.
like,
The Southern crowd, man. I'm telling you, Tampa. We were there for like Battleground and all this other stuff. Like people just do not pay attention.
it's
And
definitely
it's
yeah.
and you would think
it's definitely
now,
something
like
with the Southern heat, you know.
we're like towards the end of the match. Like
Maybe they're just waiting until like the final two to.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, how do you think they felt after Mantaur went out?
That's
I would've
took
left.
the air out of the room, right?
So,
I
what
would've
was
just
Aldo
left.
Montoya's gimmick at the time? I'm not very familiar with the work of Aldo Montoya.
I think
He was the Portuguese man of war.
So, was his father
He was
killed?
like a fighter fish.
Was his father killed at any point? My name is Aldo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. No, that's not.
that's what I was thinking of.
Nothing.
by Albert. Yes.
Nothing. Just literally the Portuguese man of war.
I
that wore
believe
a
he was
jockstrap.
originally supposed to be a soccer player, but then they like took that aspect of it away, and then he was just Puerto Rican.
Portuguese.
Or Puerto.
He should have he should have definitely come out with the kendo stick like
Oh.
as Justin Incredible, but used it as a fencing
Yeah.
sword.
What?
Oh,
Lex
no.
Luger's gone.
Oh no,
That was a huge thing, by the way.
Yeah, that was.
Crowd pops hard.
That'd be like Roman Reigns getting eliminated or something. I don't like that's up there.
That was big. Oh, Kona Crush is here. He's gonna win it, I think.
This is not Kona Crush. This
He's
is
always Kona Crush to me.
No.
Is he? Oh man, Shawn Michaels is moist. He's working his ass off out
His
there.
hair, like, it looked like he just took a shower.
What do you think it smells like in there?
even though it's been about
Probably smells
3 months since we
nice.
originally planned to record this, I now do remember when I was watching this back, my daughter, the only person that she popped for while I was watching the whole thing was a promo from Lex Luger leading up to this Royal Rumble, and I wanted to sell her
See?
at that moment.
What? Lex Luger was the next Hogan at a certain point. To this day, you know, as much as I'm a Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels fan, it's like I still wonder what if like would we have gotten that like down period if they had gone with Luger?
I definitely think they would, because if Luger was the next Hogan, it would have worked. It didn't work. He didn't
Yeah.
have the charisma of a Hogan.
Well, remember, in all fairness, what happened was that he was telling people, we got the final two here. Let's not. Now the people are kind of
Yeah.
Bulldog
The
and Shawn
Shamble Anderson too.
Michaels.
Because remember, these are the two guys that had started out the Rumble. This has never happened before.
What are the odds? What are the chances?
Right. But I was saying about Luger, he went around bragging that he was going to win the title at WrestleMania 10, which he was set to. And then when they caught wind of it, they basically punished him.
Oh, right.
So, yeah. So, I mean, who knows?
But I mean, even his WCW run, and like, he never had that charisma that Hogan had. He never, even after that, came back to be the guy. Like, we've seen guys get punished for being dickheads, and look at what happened to Triple H. Triple H still bounced back from his punishment. Like, Hogan never, or Luger never
did opt to leave. Remember that. Remember, Luger was just like, F this company, and left without giving Vince notice. So, I mean,
I feel like people were tired of like the all-American shit at that point.
I could get into the whole Luger thing because Bischoff didn't even want him to. And look at this. The famous moment.
Oh, that's when his foot touched, right? Or it didn't touch.
You know, these two have such great chemistry in the ring together.
Absolutely. But at the time, I was so excited for the British Bulldog to have won this Rumble. And they cut to an ingenious camera shot because they're only focused on the Bulldog.
Yep.
It's so funny because the whole crowd clearly understands that he's not out.
Right. And then, but look at the reaction here.
Shawn Michaels wins.
People are confused.
People didn't think that Shawn Michaels was over. Look at what the crowd reacted when he won.
Look at Pamela Anderson.
Man. Is this over yet?
She's like looking down. She's like, "Can we leave?"
So this is the first time we're getting like a really. So Fink saying only one of Shawn Michaels' feet hit the floor.
Yeah. You know what? That also was such a nice touch to this match because the whole thing was just like they started with these two, like it was a classic feel, and then to have that little touch at the end.
And this was great camera work. Like this was because if y'all don't remember, '94 they botched the finish of like, you know, the camera angles and a lot of mess ups here. So, but this caught every part of Shawn Michaels literally not touching this floor. And this actually, again, remember at the time, this had never been done. Remember, they've always said both of your feet have to touch the floor, blah, blah, blah. But they've never done anything to emphasize that both feet need to touch the floor. And so this is the first time that there was like that loophole of, hey, both of his feet didn't hit.
Shawn Michaels flailing his legs all over the place. He like puts his leg on the apron, then it slips off. It's, man.
So good.
He's a man.
Do you guys think, honestly, though, do you guys think that spot was planned? Was it supposed to be like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
Yeah, that's why the camera was ready for it. Everyone was just, they were all ready for it.
Well, I noticed when Shawn was flailing his legs around, he kept looking back over like, is he on the top rope yet? Is he on the top rope yet?
Yeah.
Right.
And then Pam Anderson just wanting like nothing
she's
to
like,
do with
I gotta get out
Shawn
of
here.
Michaels.
She's Todd Pettengill's broad.
All right.
But it's like one of those things where it's like you look in her face and she's like legitimately like, I'm not doing this.
This is stupid.
Well, she's got Tommy
She's
Lee
leaving while
alone.
he's having.
Can't fucking.
The camera's on her while the fireworks are going off in the ring for Shawn Michaels.
Right. Pam Anderson is the story here. This is really like a coming out party for Shawn Michaels. This is like the first like big spotlight he's gotten, other than
they go off the air with like 4 seconds of Shawn Michaels' face in the ring while Pam Anderson just left.
I feel like it was a little bit longer. I don't know if I'm crazy on that, but I feel like it was a little bit longer than when they just faded out.
Peacock giving us the
someone was in blackface at the end.
Maybe there was a PG-13 spot at the end of that match that we had to just edit out or something.
That's something. Well,
but that was it. That was
Royal
the 95 Rumble.
95. That was my first time watching it. I don't know. I know Kenny or Matt, Joey, was it your first time watching it?
I've watched
that
Rumble.
event.
The Rumble match itself.
Yeah,
No,
I've watched the Rumble in parts, and then like obviously the ending. I never watched it like all the way through like that.
Yeah,
so that was
it was interesting. You know, like it was like you guys said, it was very fast paced. Like not even entrance music to kind of stop the momentum going. Which, given like the people involved, he had a lot of like well done. Like, do we need entrance music for those guys? But all in all, I mean, I think the pacing was good. It wasn't it was quick, but it deserved to be quick.
Yeah, that match wasn't even like an hour long, right?
No, I think it was
that
like,
was like definitely like half an
I
hour.
think from what I
Not
looked
even
at, it
40.
was 42 to 45 minutes.
And what's the
Right,
record? Like today's record, I think is what it was Rey Mysterio for like an hour or something in the ring.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
think about that. Like that's crazy.
this might have been the quickest Rumble, no? Like ever?
I think 96 was the quickest Rumble. Don't quote me on that.
Right.
But I want to say 96 was just like so much quicker because I think this was like a minute 30 intervals and then like 96 was a minute for some reason.
I didn't even
Okay.
mind this either. I kind of enjoyed it being fast paced like that because you're on your toes the whole. Like you don't know if you're gonna miss something. You don't know if something's gonna happen. Like today's Rumbles, there's kind of those down times where you're like, oh, let me go get a drink. Let me go to the bathroom. You know, like this was just like go 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 the whole time.
This definitely
Yeah.
had a let me go.
And there's 2 Rumbles now.
Let's say this
And
let
there's
me,
right.
this definitely let me go to the bathroom like right at the beginning. But I also think it's the participants. Like again, we looked at the final 5. There wasn't really anyone in there. You're not excited to see anyone other than Mantaur come out. Like
Right.
real quick.
Yeah.
bang him
I'm
out.
actually still upset to this day that Mantaur was eliminated the way he was. I think Pam Anderson would have danced with Mantaur.
I do too.
Just for the record.
Yeah.
Now I
should've
understand why
taken-
I've been upset all these years. Makes sense.
Right.
She would have grabbed the bull by the horn, huh? Who's with
you
me?
go.
It's penis.
I like it. I like it. I
penis.
wasn't with you with the Owen Hart turnbuckle thing, but I
That
definitely
was
with
you
now.
put that in my mind.
You mean over the edge of what?
because he's like,
Yeah.
whatever.
I put it in his mind. I'm trying to talk about a Bret Hart spot.
That,
And
that's
this
such
guy
a
goes into
stretch.
that.
That was a stretch because he hit him in the heart. What is that? Is whatever. I will not take ownership for that. That is all you.
There's 3 other
I
people
will
here that are
put
shaking their
a
heads.
poll.
every time
I'm
you
gonna
talk
put a poll on Twitter, and we're gonna see
So
whose
you
fault
had
it
4
was.
guys on the cock, and now you're putting polls on Twitter.
That's
Right.
I'm taking your gimmick.
Cock and
apparently,
polls.
huh?
Cock and polls.
Cock and polls. That is a good summation of the show. But that about does it. We're running about 2 hours now or so. Appreciate you guys making the time. I know we've been trying to make this happen for a month or 5 months or something like that. But it was a fun time. Definitely, I think we'll do this again. We have a bunch of rumbles coming up in the next whatever. But we'll definitely do this again. I kind of like this format of watching the Rumble because it's kind of weird to like kind of try to talk about each aspect of it after the fact. But yes, so yeah, thank you guys. I'll kind of go around the room. Where can we find you guys? Your lovely podcast. Ritter, I'll start with you. Or Diesel is daddy.
You guys can find me at Matt Ritter. That's at MATTRIDDER on Twitter, and also at Smackin It Raw Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And there you guys can go to the link trees. That'll take you to the audio, and the link trees that'll get you over to the videos on YouTube and Pornhub. We are the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub, and I love that people actually go watch us there. So please continue to do that.
It's great. A lot of people have probably
It's a long,
finished.
hard watch.
A lot of people have probably finished with
Hard
you in like
watch.
the recommended videos tab in the top right, or just
That's
watching.
what I
it.
want to see.
Kenneth.
You can find me probably at a strip club or a bar. Oh, I'm sorry.
It is Florida after all.
Yeah. I was gonna say I've been on a little bit of a hiatus ski for the past 3 weeks, so I actually haven't had an episode. But you can find us on YouTube.com/Kenny for your thoughts. I am rethinking our I guess format is what's going on right now. And yeah, you can find us on audio, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Did I say YouTube? I did. Other stuff. Not on Pornhub though. Not on Pornhub. I don't want to compete with Ritter. I don't foresee myself winning that battle.
You're on Lobster Tube is the thing, right?
You can't compete with Mantaur. Come on.
Joey.
Yeah, so the Angle Podcast, you can find me on all social media platforms at The Angle Radio. You can follow me, or you can subscribe on YouTube at The Angle Podcast, or everything is on theangleradio.com. Bunch of different interviews with wrestling stars, legends, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, you can check me out all there.
Hail yeah, brother. 3 great podcasts. I like how we all kind of like have a different take on wrestling, like a different sub niche between each of us. Check them all out. And yeah, that's all Daddy has.
Mwah.
Once again, thank you to everybody for joining me on this episode, joining me in this review of Royal Rumble 1995. Thank you to Matt Ritter, Joey Carney, and Kenny Majid. Awesome time with these guys. It took a lot of coordination to make it happen, but we made it happen, and I had a half chub throughout. So good times all around. I'll have all of their podcast information in the description. As always, like I said, 3 great podcasts. They all kind of have a different take on wrestling. I said it in the episode, but like a different sub niche between all of us, between, different styles of podcasting. So check out all of us. Well, I mean, you're already checking out me, so check out all of them. And yeah, apronbump.com for all my episodes. If you like this era of wrestling reviews, go to apronbump.com, click the episodes tab at the top. You'll find Wrestling Wars of the 90s. Click on that, and you'll have all of my episodes from 94 and 95 regarding WWF, WCW, and ECW. We have a lot more ECW coming up here in the next few months. They had their first pay-per-view November to Remember, and didn't really have any other major shows until February of 95. So my next Wrestling Wars of the 90s episode will be ECW. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, Mantaur. Am I right or am I wrong, fellas? Thank you guys once again for listening. I love you. Tickle, 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 tickle.
Yeah.
I'm hard.
Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing I guess. Let's get it started. It's the hardest. Talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing I guess. Let's get it started. Yeah.